Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Weekend Wrap Up, the news that matters. Josh, how are you today?
I am doing all right, David. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. I see you got your fancy cup over there
I have
again.
been to Southern Cup this morning. Got my creme brulee breve. Got a little caffeine in it. A little caffeine, a lot of sugar.
Hardee's today.
Hardee's.
Yeah.
I think you were mentioning something. They got a country ham biscuit.
Country ham biscuit. You got to have country ham at least twice a month.
At least twice a month. Country ham.
You're not a Tennessean if you don't.
If you don't have country ham.
You have country ham every.
I don't have it that often. I do every so often, but twice a month. I'm probably not hitting my quota. I need to work on that.
Man, I ate it for breakfast yesterday. I had it again today on a biscuit. So
you covered the whole month.
I'm covered.
You're good for the month.
Absolutely.
So,
Josh, we got a little bit of stuff to talk about today. Some events have taken place. You've been to some meetings, and of course, we started early voting yesterday, which that was pretty decent. It looked like
pretty decent. We'll get into voting here in a little bit, but
yeah,
we got a few things. Nothing crazy. I'm going to come in early and say we're not going to go long today, but we can always chase a rabbit.
There's a rabbit's waiting.
If we do, we apologize. So, but actually, there's not a lot of activity in the government meetings this week, but we will cover what happened.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, let's hear from our sponsors. We'll hear from Cutting Edge Optical out on North Main Street.
Yeah.
Dennis Young Insurance and the Dream Team, Diane and Madison Arnold.
Arnold's at Coldwell Banker. Yeah.
So let's hear from them, and we'll be right back.
For clear vision and trusted care, choose Cutting Edge Optical. We offer comprehensive eye exams powered by 20/20 exams, expert contact lens fittings, and a wide selection of quality frames to match your style and budget. Need glasses fast? We even offer same-day eyeglasses to keep you seeing clearly without the wait. Our experienced team is committed to personalized service and helping you see your best every day. Visit Cutting Edge Optical at 1114 North Main Street in Shelbyville or call 931-488-5778 to schedule your appointment today.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
When you're ready to buy or sell in Middle Tennessee, you want someone who knows this community inside and out. Meet Diane and Madison Arnold, Shelbyville's trusted real estate team with decades of local experience and award-winning results. Whether it's finding your dream home, pricing your property to sell, or navigating every step of the transaction with confidence, they're with you from start to finish. As part of Coldwell Banker Southern Realty, they pair hometown expertise with powerful market tools to help you move with confidence. Call Diane and Madison today and experience the personal service and local knowledge that makes all the difference.
All righty. Welcome back in here to the Weekend Wrap Up, the news that matters. Josh, why don't you get into the news that matters?
The news that matters. Not a lot of news this week, but we will run down what we got. I started the week Monday morning at a city pre-planning meeting. That is the meeting before the Planning Commission meeting. And honestly, I don't even think we met for 30 minutes because there were no major new developments coming in the next Planning Commission meeting. This one was held in July. So this will be for the August cycle of Planning Commission. No big new developments. There is, however, ongoing Old Nash Estates. If you've been down by, is it Living Waters Church there on Old Nashville Road?
Living Stones.
Something's living out there. There's a church.
Yeah.
You may notice there used to be trees next to it, and there's not anymore.
The trees are gone.
The trees are gone. That is a big development ongoing, and they brought phase 3 of that into planning now. So that one's long since approved. They're just down to the nuts and bolts of actually doing the exactly where the lots are.
We can draw one conclusion to this. You've written down here large. It's a large development.
It is a large development.
Large development with no shade, evidently.
They're starting with no trees. My neighborhood, they did the same thing. They killed all the trees.
Killed them all.
They took them out, and now we've got it. My wife and I, we planted a nice birch tree in the backyard, and it's gotten up past the second-story windows, so it's growing. But
no shade yet, quite like you
just
need it.
Not like we need it yet.
Okay.
So still working on the shade. So but these people will be coming in with no shade. Generally, they put a little twig in the front yard and call it a tree.
All right, okay,
basically a twig.
Okay, so this is all a brand new development. How are these going to look? Are we talking about real close
single
together?
family homes, pretty close together.
Yeah.
Private alley access to the ones that are on Old Nashville Dirt Road. Those don't actually load onto Old Nashville Dirt Road. They
Yeah.
come in from an alley in behind the house. As far as finishes and stuff, I don't know. We've not seen that. We've just seen the lot sizes and stuff. I would assume, general. Maybe I don't know if they're doing just vinyl. I don't know if they're doing vinyl and brick or what they're doing, but it's coming
Yeah.
soon. Because
Well, can I chase a rabbit? I knew there was one lurking somewhere.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
Here's
Start with
a
first
rabbit chase. Okay.
Yeah.
Just talking about lots and developments and so forth.
Yeah.
Two things happened to me this week that I want to put out a public service request announcement / watch out. Okay. The alert.
Yeah.
If you see somebody cutting the grass in a neighborhood on a riding lawnmower and
Yeah.
you go by, be prepared to be splattered because people do not understand. They need to throw the grass in toward their own property and not out toward the cars.
Did you get splattered by?
I got
grass?
splattered by wet grass,
Oh.
and if it had been a rock, it would have knocked the windshield out.
Oh,
That's
not
an
good.
insurance claim.
That's not
Okay,
good.
so people need to pay attention when they're mowing. I know they've been mowing for a few months, but I think a few people did not get the memo. I got splattered twice this week.
Yeah.
One on a major highway and one going through a neighborhood, which the same neighborhood I went through, I was like weaving in and out of cars parked on the doggone road.
Yeah.
Why
have
do
that
we
in my
park
neighborhood.
cars on the road, Josh?
I'll tell you, because I'm in a neighborhood that does that, and it's because nobody uses their garage, and I'm guilty. I don't use my garage either. I don't know why we put garages. My garage is where we collect our crap, and I think that's what
Okay,
most
so
people
you're
do
telling
too,
me
so.
instead of pulling your car in the garage, you don't leave it in the driveway.
Well, no, I leave mine in the driveway.
Okay,
But we have
okay.
people that, because they don't use the garage, they got 2 or 3 cars, and once you fill up the driveway, the next
Okay,
place
that
goes the
means you
road.
got tiny
So,
driveways.
tiny driveways. We do have tiny
That's a
driveways.
problem.
Tiny
These
driveways.
developments need to have longer driveways. They need to be a little bit further back so that you can actually get 4 cars sitting in the driveway. Because if you have guests over, guess what happens to that?
They park in the
overflow?
road.
And you're not allowed to park in the grass, Josh. Did you know that?
That is a code. Yeah, do not park
Why?
in the grass. Because that's the rules.
Park on the street.
Park on
That's
the
a
street.
that's a code violation too. That's an ordinance violation, by the way.
It is. Yeah, that's
So,
a unenforced ordinance.
Catch
but yes.
22 here.
Yeah.
You can't have company over if you got a tiny driveway.
Flying cars. That's where it's at, Dave. If you get a flying car, you can
You
just
have a port
come in
in the
and
back.
land somewhere.
That's the answer.
I don't know.
All right, Josh. Now that's the rabbit. But I
Okay.
experienced those 2 things today. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, bad grass cutting and cars in the road.
Splattered grass on the windshield and dodging the cars going.
You sure the
down
guy on the
main road.
mower just didn't see you coming? He didn't like you, maybe?
Man, the fact is there was traffic on this road.
Ah,
Both roads that I was on. One was 41A, and the other I won't mention, but it was out going toward Belmont Avenue. All right.
okay.
All right. I got splattered.
You
twice.
got splattered. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Huh?
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Okay,
So,
I know.
I don't
All right.
splatter when I mow. So that was it Monday morning. Tuesday evening, there were 2 meetings going on back to back, almost simultaneously. I only made it to one and watched the other one. The first one was the school board meeting. They met up at Community so they could recognize, I believe, the Vike Queens won the state championship. So they had them a
Softball,
little
yeah.
softball championship. So they had them a little ceremony up there. And then they had what looked like a long agenda, but like 60-70% of it was all these policies that the state made new rules this year, and they changed some definitions and stuff. So they had to just update their policy manual. So it wasn't
Yeah.
really a lot going on. However, one thing that I did notice, they did cancel, and I don't know that I knew this was going on, but they had a contract with Aramark, was helping with the custodial part of the school system. And I don't understand all the work because I've asked a couple people. Some of the equipment, I guess, they were using belonged to Aramark.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, though, most of the employees were county employees. But either way, they are now getting out of the Aramark connection, and they are going to run their own department. And custodial may not be the right word. They may
Yeah.
be like not politically correct anymore. Do you say I think it's like building maintenance or something? I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want to offend them.
Yeah,
I know
building
back when I was in school, we call them the janitor, but you definitely can't use
No,
that word
because
anymore.
it's multitasking at this point.
Yeah,
They're
there's a
not
lot
just
more going on.
janitorizing.
So
Yeah.
we don't say janitor,
Yeah.
custodian. Maybe you say building maintenance, but whatever the correct word is, they are no longer in the business with Aramark after 3 months. They have
Right.
a 3-month period where they're going to transition, and it'll all be run by the school system.
Okay,
So,
school board meeting. Did they bring up any of the test scoring? I know that the state reported some of the report cards as a
I
general, did
didn't
we hear?
hear any mention. I was at about a week or two ago. I think it was a Rotary event with our new school director of schools, Mr. Harwell, and he mentioned that they had some new information, but at that point it was embargoed. I don't know if it's unembargoed. Yeah, I feel like they probably would have said more about it at school.
Well,
board
it
meetings,
was it
so
was released publicly, and I think overall the state had eked up a little bit,
just a little bit.
to
Okay.
better, closer to proficiency
Okay.
than it has been. So I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
did say that we improved, so he just
Yeah.
didn't give the numbers
Yeah.
at the meeting I was at. And maybe they mentioned it in the school board meeting, and I was napping during that part.
You
but it
nap?
was-
You don't nap,
No, I
Josh.
wasn't napping,
All
but I may have missed. I wasn't there in person. It's watching on Facebook is just not the same as
No, it's
being
not.
there. So the reason I was not there is because I was at the county commission meeting at the historic courthouse on the square, and they did the exact same thing the school board did. They had the Vi Queens softball team,
Yes,
and they recognized
saw
them
that.
and took some
Yeah.
pictures and said some nice things. And then other than that, I've got the big exciting agenda. They elected the notaries for the month. That's always
important,
exciting. That's
yes.
always exciting. They approved the minutes for the last meeting, and there was a copier contract. So everybody wants to
Big
have a copier
business
contract.
here. Yes,
And then this was quarterly report month, which happens oddly enough once a quarter.
got a lot of reports. I see.
There were 9 on the agenda. There have been 9 on the agenda going back about a year or two. It used to be 10. They cut it back to 9.
Yeah.
And we continue to not get 9 reports every quarter.
So what do you get, Josh?
Well, this
2?
time we got 2. This
2?
time we got
Yeah.
2, at least publicly. Now, some of these, they may be turning them in on paper and the commissioners
Right.
may see them, but they're not making the packet. They're not making the website.
There's not a
So
presentation.
there has not been a presentation. And this time it was a little, I know a couple people were, in particular, I can speak for the school presentation. They couldn't be there because they were literally
They were having a meeting.
They were
Yeah,
meeting at
yeah,
Unionville. So, and I think some other people were in town. But my point on that is maybe we're about to transition into some new people at the county. I hear there might be an election
There
going
might
on.
be.
And maybe we could either figure out how to put out all the quarterly reports. Maybe we should just trim it back. Maybe some of these aren't necessary.
Let's just
So-
don't even report.
well, I don't know about not reporting at all, but I mean, if we're only doing 4 or 5, which seems to be about the magic number, maybe that's all that really matters. We could probably just put those on the agenda and be done with
Yeah.
it. So
Mail it in.
yeah, so I don't know. The 2 that did report, I will. Mr. Johnny Reed was there. He
Yes.
reported Register of Deeds. I got a copy of his report. He was nice enough to give me a copy.
He's usually Johnny on the spot.
He was Johnny on the spot. He
yeah.
was there. He said they did for the in the year just ended. Government years in the end of June 30th, and for the year he did 1,340 deeds and 609 quit claim deeds and 272 green belts. Total, he worked on 13,464 documents were recorded and collected we're going to call it $2.8 million of revenue. So
Okay.
that's what's going on at the deeds office with Johnny. And then the other presentation was the trustee's office. Tanya always gives a great report. It's thick. It's got lots of graphs and charts and stuff.
Yeah.
This one I like to see because this tells us where we're really at. These are real dollars sitting in real bank accounts.
Right.
And currently at the end of the last year, which again was June 30th, we had Bedford County had $124.37 million sitting in the bank overall. 58.7 million of that was sitting in the debt service account. 30.9 million was in the school account, and 20.5 million was in the general account. And there's some other smaller accounts, but those are the big ones.
Yeah.
So that one in particular, debt service there, the 58.7 million dollars.
Yeah.
That one we will be discussing more if what I expect to happen happens in the next 2 or 3 months, which we're awaiting a ruling, an opinion by the Tennessee State Court of Appeals on this ridiculous lawsuit between where we've sued ourselves, city and county. However, from the math standpoint of that lawsuit, all of that lawsuit is connected to that account.
Right.
It is not, despite what's said a lot, the talk track on it is it's school funding, which it is in a manner of speaking. However, all of the dollars are not in school operation accounts.
Right.
They're
It's
in
building.
that debt service account, which currently is sitting at a
I remember when all that
$58.7
went
million
on. It
balance.
was all about the buildings.
Correct. Yeah.
And
It's all in debt service.
right.
Yeah. All of those. It's the amount that's up for discussion in the lawsuit was 0.75%
Percent.
on your sales tax you pay everywhere here in town.
Right.
And all of that currently goes into that debt service account. So that's
So if the county gets to keep this and keep collecting this like
Right.
they have in the past, and that account's built up,
that account will keep growing.
then I would expect that would take some pressure off the county property tax amounts.
You would
Slightly.
expect that, but maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Are you kidding?
I don't know. We'll see. Other interesting thing in this report that I picked out, and it mattered probably only to me and nobody else, but she did have the cash value of how many people had paid their property taxes last year and how many
Yeah.
had not. These are not the final numbers because I was told there's some accounts receivable hoodoo voodoo math they're going to do
Hoodoo
next
voodoo
month.
math.
Yeah, some little
Okay.
extra math they're going to do. But as of this report that she handed out, we had collected 96.5% of the property
good.
tax that was billed up, which left a 3.5% delinquency rate, which
Okay,
that's
low.
important because we just passed a budget with a 6% delinquency. So 3.5 would be good if we did 3.5%. This coming year,
Didn't last
they'll
year
give us more money.
Last year wasn't it higher than that?
last year it was 5.9%.
I've thought-
So it is down.
That's down. That's
the
good.
delinquency rate was down. So honestly, that was it. The county commission meeting, unless if I'd gotten the list of notaries, we could have read them off, but I don't think anybody cares. So we will, we'll pass on that. And Thursday morning, the ever exciting Bedford County, Shelbyville Railroad Authority met. And I sit on that committee and we
Yeah, I
we
was sitting here
talked-
thinking about that.
Yeah.
You love that meeting.
that's fun. Railroad
Yeah.
meetings always fun. So I still haven't
Yeah.
got to ride on the train. I'm a little disappointed I haven't got to ride on the train, but I do still sit on the Railroad Authority. And we, I say they, and I guess we, because I vote on some of this stuff. We are working on a $3.5 million rehab upgrade project that would be predominantly paid for by what's called a CRISI grant, which we'll just call that. It's a federal grant. So they are waiting to hear back on that. I think they sent in the application sometime in June. And then another item of note that I picked out of that meeting, which normally doesn't have a lot going on because not going on in railroad, but they've got 4 customers currently. Our local railroad does. And 1 out of 4 has not used the railroad yet this fiscal year.
Okay.
Albea has not done anything. So I'm guessing maybe they're a little slower there, or maybe they're just trucking everything
Yes,
in. I don't know what's
most of
going
this
on.
stuff is incoming, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think most of
Raw
well,
materials coming in. That
for them, I don't. Yeah, for them maybe. So I know some of our other railroad customers, like the what do you got, the big metal recycling place. I would have
It's
imagined their
outgoing,
stuff's going
yeah.
out. So yeah, I think it just varies. But for whatever reason, Albea has not used the railroad yet this part of the year. And then last meeting, I think that I'm going to cover. I told you there wasn't a whole lot. Thursday evening, this was not really an official meeting, but this is something I was at, and we covered it with a video. We had the Bedford County Mayor Forum at the Capri Theater
Yeah,
on Thursday
yeah.
evening. Not quite as many people there, I would say, as were at the sheriff's one that went on a few weeks ago. However, more than I expected. So I was at the very front row and working the camera and stuff. So I didn't
Well,
turn around and try to count how many people were there, but it was a fairly
I
full
got
theater.
to know.
So
You were there.
I was there.
Did they have the popcorn machine fired up for this event?
Yes, you could buy at the concession stand if you wanted drinks and popcorn and candy, just like you're at the movies.
Exactly.
So it was all there. I didn't see a whole lot of people, but I think I did see some people buying stuff
Yeah.
from the concession
Okay.
stand. The full video, other than my poor camera, they got going and we hit the 90-minute mark and my battery died. So there's about a 30 seconds missing on the video that's on our Facebook because I had to switch cameras real
Right.
quick. And you'll know when it is because you can tell, obviously, it's 2 different cameras.
All right.
But other than that, the whole thing is up there. It was a good civil discussion. There was no name calling. There was
That's
no
good to
back
hear.
and forth. It was
Yeah.
just a good Q&A. James Wood from the Bedford County Post did a great job. He had asked people to send in questions. He'd gotten in a number of good questions. He had a few more of his own. It didn't go overly long. That was good. Some of these things can drag on. I
Yeah.
think there was one in one of the districts they tried to do, county commission. I think it went like 2 hours plus.
That's a
That's
little
probably
bit
a
much,
little
yeah.
too much. So he held it right at about 90 minutes. So what I will say out of that is get out and vote. We're in early voting. Early voting started yesterday. We had, I posted the number online, I believe it was 521 people showed up to early vote yesterday. That is more than 4 times as many showed up day one of the primary election,
which
which
we
happened
had.
just back in
No.
May.
You got those numbers. 4,031 voted in May.
Yes.
And then going back to the equivalent election in August of 2022, you got 4,327 voted.
4,327 voted in this election 4 years ago. I'm expecting, because of all that's been going on with the online hoopla and the sheriff's
Yeah.
race and all that,
Yeah.
that we are going to have a better turnout. We'll definitely, by next Saturday, we'll know a lot more because we'll have a lot more days of data. The 521, the first day is good. That, however, the first day is going to be your diehards that, I mean, we've had the poor people in the sheriff's race have been at this for
It
since
seems like 2
2025.
years. I know.
Yeah, fairly early in
Yeah.
the year. So they were ready to get in an early vote. So we'll know better after we've had a whole week of numbers to see if this trend continues.
I hope
But
it does, because we've
Yeah.
got over 29,000 registered voters.
over 31,000.
Oh, we've
now.
gone up a lot
Yes,
then.
We've got a
the last
lot
hour.
of registered voters, and when only 4,000 are showing up to vote, that's not a good thing.
No.
So,
No.
and I was up there. I went up there this morning before I came in. And we are not endorsing or supporting any candidates, but I'm going to mention that 2 were actually up there while I was up there. Michael Gregory was actually up there campaigning. You're allowed, if there's little cones
Right. You got
100 feet away. So as long as you're outside the cones, you are allowed to be up there in the general vicinity. And then I'm a draw blank. No, I'm not. One of our congressional candidates, Todd Warner. Todd Warner was up there putting up signs as well. I think he's running for, what's he running for? Is he running for U.S. Congress or some kind of
Yeah.
Congress? Yeah. Is he up in
Congress.
District 9? Yeah.
District 9.
Yeah, District
The
9.
new
So he was,
expanded.
the new
stretched
expanded,
out.
stretched out district. So yeah, so they were both up there this morning when I drove through. Michael said he felt like, and he said, I'm not an expert on numbers. He thought he'd been there since they started at 8. He thought he'd seen about 75-ish people through, but they'll probably post the numbers again after they shut down. Early voting runs now through August 1st. Every day, except they're not there Sunday, but every other day of the week, they get there at 8 in the morning. Monday through Friday, they're there till 5, and Saturday they shut down at noon.
Okay. So everybody's got an opportunity.
You got plenty of opportunity there, and if you old school and like to vote on election
That'd be
day,
me.
would that be you?
You're calling me old school.
Old school, August 6th, I believe, and I think election day, don't they go 9 to 7? Does that sound right?
That
I
sounds
believe
about
9
right.
a.m. to 7
Yeah.
p.m. on election day. So you've got all the chances in the world. There's a lot of information online. I will say I'll cover a couple more things since we've got some time here. Let me just go off on a couple rabbits here. We posted maybe over the weekend, I think last weekend. Some people care about what's going on financially in this election. All that information now is on our Facebook
Yes.
as far as every candidate that's in a hotly contested. Now, I will tell you, I didn't get into, because I've only got so much time in the day, I didn't get
Right.
into a couple of the races that technically have more than one person. Nothing against the which ones did I not do? I don't think I did the trustees race, and maybe was there a property asset? A couple other ones. Those haven't been big hot button races. I stuck with the ones that people have been focused
County clerk
on.
also.
Yeah, county clerk is. I didn't get into those. We did a financial report on all the mayor's candidates. We did a second one on all the sheriff's candidates, which is 2, both of the sheriff's candidates. And then we did one on the commission candidates. Just a couple things that stuck out to me in those, which are neither here nor there. I just thought they were interesting. Sheriff's race, $120,000 has been put into the sheriff's election, which may indicate why it's been such a lot of activity with it online.
Yeah.
Because that money all came from people here locally, so they've got a financial interest in this race now. Everybody does that's given. It's I don't remember the number. I think a couple hundred people have picked one candidate or the other financially. So that those people in particular are definitely going to be diehard for their candidate. And then on the commission side, we've got 30 people running for commission seats. And we talked about this, I think, last week or the week before. I'd seen some comments of, all them politicians, they all taking money. All of them taking all of them taking money. Well, on the table. But we're talking above the table money now. But out of the 30 people running for commission seats, now you got 4 that are uncontested. So I guess you would figure they're really not spending any money. But you've only got 7 out of 30 that have accepted anybody's money. So
low percentage.
Low percentage. I think you're at half. I think it was 15 out of 30 are either spending $0 or under anything under 1,000, you don't
even
have to
report.
You don't have to report anything as far as you do have to report a top line dollar
Right.
figure, but you don't have to report the specifics as far
Right,
as donors and
right.
stuff. So you've got half of the county commission candidates that are either at $999 or less, they're putting into the race. So you're going to have plenty of people sitting on the county commission that have not put a lot of money in the race. And I think that's more the norm here.
Yeah.
I think that's some of the others more the exception than the rule. So that's kind of where the numbers are at. And those are all laid out in that report that we posted.
I'd like to sponsor something after the election,
What's
a
that?
sign removal party.
Oh,
Just get everybody together and go out and pick up signs and get rid of them.
what are we going to do with all that?
I have no idea what you do with them, Josh. You have to tell me.
There is so many signs.
What do you do with them?
So many signs.
Save them for a later date?
Yeah, I guess maybe. One other rabbit I wanted to chase, and this may or may not offend some of my friends, but I went to a lot of political events. It's, as you know, we were about to start the election. So in the last week and a half, I hit a bunch. And in particular, I went to one that I got ragged for a little bit. I went to the Democratic Party event last Saturday.
Yeah.
That was Saturday. And within 2 or 3 days of that, I also attended 2 Republican Party events. And the thing I'm going to say out of that, which may be offensive to my friends on the Republican side of the aisle, who I love them I used to serve with on the executive committee, that Democratic event had more people and more energy than both of those Republican events. So, and that's not to say I don't think we're going to have a big blue wave in this election or anything here locally for sure. But it was just interesting. You know, you see what you see online in the media, and, you know, you got people on this side or that side. But as far as raw turnout numbers, people that came, and just energy in the room, the Democratic one had more of both. So, also, I will say, and this I found interesting, what do you think the hot button issue was for the local people attending the Democratic Party events?
What was it, Josh?
It was data centers and AI.
Really?
Data centers and AI. So I thought that was interesting because I've seen that the same people on the red side of the aisle have some of the same concerns
Issues,
as the
right.
people on the blue side of the aisle. So I know there's a lot that divides us,
Right.
but there's
a lot
also some stuff that brings us together
Yep.
too. So that's just, I don't know what that point gets us to, but it was
Maybe-
an observation.
Maybe it's a point of common sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you would think
I know
it's common, and
yeah.
there's some-
I mean, we're everything that you see online looks to
Right.
split us apart, but there are actually, believe it or not, people that you may not agree with on every issue. There are issues
Oh,
that
yeah.
you probably agree on. So,
yes,
yeah, and I find that particularly in local politics. I mean, we don't deal with, because I sit on, obviously, the city council, and I've spent a lot of time with the county commission. We don't deal with a lot of those issues that are super divisive up in Washington. Now, they get brought up from time to time, but I have not ever had to vote on, you know, like transgender basketball or anything on the city council, or, you know, something that you would see that in Washington and that would, you know, polarize people. We don't have so much of that locally. We're more about, you know, how much we're going to spend on police, or how much we're going to spend on fire, or how much we're going to spend, you know, how much we're going to property tax,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So just some rabbits that I chased my own there. Do you have any comments you want to hit?
yeah,
before I
we've
say?
got
We
some
couple
here.
comments. What you got?
Jenny McKee. I've seen numbers that over 100K in special interest money has been poured into Bedford County races, supposedly more than the last 4 election cycles combined. That could be true. I don't know those numbers.
I don't have the past
Yeah.
ones to compare to. Yeah.
Okay, and then Sharon Knapp, signs, wickets, which are metal, can be recycled or reused. The
Okay.
entire sign would be great for those who wish to place their own sign over the current one for yard sales and other notices in neighborhoods.
Repurpose that
the
sign
sign.
as a yard sale sign.
And Scott Vicker, I believe that we mostly have the same concerns. It's how we choose to address them, which is different. Probably correct.
I think
there,
that's probably
Scott.
accurate, Scott.
All right.
So, yeah.
So, Josh, is it time for us to take another commercial
I think
break?
let's take another commercial break. We're going to go actually on time this week instead of going long. So let's hear from our sponsors.
Yeah, we've got some different sponsors this time. We've got Piggly Wiggly.
The
Save
pig.
big at the pig.
I like the pig.
Yes, absolutely. Great place. Kincaid Service Company, where service is our middle name.
Yeah.
And First Bank here in Shelbyville on Madison Street. Let's hear from those fine sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Shop local at Shelbyville Piggly Wiggly. down home, down the street. From farm fresh produce and hand-cut meats to pantry staples, dairy, frozen favorites, and household essentials, we've got your list covered at hometown prices. Don't miss our weekly ad and truckload meat sales. Open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Visit 874 Union Street, Shelbyville, or call 931-684-1363. Follow us on Facebook for the latest specials. Shop local. Save big at the Pig.
At Kincaid Service Company, we've proudly served Middle Tennessee since 1934. Families across the region trust us for quality furniture, appliances, electronics, and the kind of service only a hometown business can provide. From living room sets and dining collections to washers, dryers, refrigerators, and the latest in home entertainment, Kincaid has everything you need to make your house a home. And when it comes to a great night's sleep, our showroom features leading brands of mattresses, offering comfort and quality you can count on. We don't just sell products, we stand behind them. When you buy your appliances or electronics from Kincaid, our expert service team is here to keep them running for years to come. It's the kind of care that sets us apart. For value, selection, and service you can trust, visit Kincaid Service Company today, locally owned and community strong.
On game day, winning is everything. But life's big wins happen off the field. When you win a heart. When you win their trust. When you win their respect. First Bank's community banking is perfect for life's big wins because of what we're big on. You. Make us part of your team for life's biggest wins.
Alrighty, welcome back in here to the weekend wrap-up show. The news that matters, Josh. What is going to matter this upcoming week? You got a few things here.
Not a whole
Not
lot
much.
going on,
Yeah.
David, again. So it feels like maybe we're in election season and things are now there will be a lot more political events this week, and I'll probably go to some of those. But as far as what we're going to cover, Tuesday evening, county commission committee meetings. These are the 3 committee meetings back to back to back. What is it? Rules and Legislative, Public Safety, and Courthouse and Property.
Right.
And I looked at their agendas and I saw a whole lot of nothing is what I remember.
Blank paper, huh?
It was not blank. It was just their monthly
Small
reports
amounts.
with nothing to vote on. So that's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
feeling like. And so if something comes out of left field there, the only thing I was kind of expecting, and it doesn't appear it's going to happen prior to the election, was county was headed toward the road of speaking of data centers, a data center moratorium.
Yeah.
And I guess they're not ready because planning commission passed it. And I expected it would either show up at a commission meeting or a committee meeting. And unless they bring it up without putting it on the agenda, it is not on any of the agendas. So
Maybe it will come up though, but it's not on the agenda.
it's not on the agenda.
there.
So I'm wondering if they're just going to punt it until after this. This will be the last meeting that it would be at. I don't think you would start that in finance.
Let me ask you something.
So it's
Josh.
going to next month. I
Just your
guess.
opinion on this.
Yeah.
Are the data centers issue a hot button, a hot potato that nobody wants to handle? I think it's pretty straightforward what the people feel about it.
Public sentiment seems to be fairly strongly against. I've not seen or heard a lot of people just stand up and say, man, I sure would like a data center. So
I think there's a big question mark over all of it.
it's like a lot of these hot button issues again. There's a lot of vague information online that's not quite accurate. And so there's a lot going on there. I even heard at and it was one of the meetings that was discussed at here locally, they were talking about the water usage as far as evaporative cooling in data centers. That's actually an old technology that's basically not used anymore. They've gone to a recycled deal. So there's not a ton of water usage in the current generation of them. But that's not to say they're good.
The flow of water is still there. It's just not all
they're not
evaporated
just sucking all the water out of the river and then it's
Yeah.
evaporating off. No, they've gone with newer technology there. Now they still have serious issues. They've still got electricity usage is the biggest one. They draw a lot of power, which generates heat.
Right.
You've got if they use too much power, then that affects obviously the grid and the other people on it. If it requires upgrades in the system that then get passed on to other ratepayers, well, that's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
There's still the sound issue. A lot of the regulation comes down to sound. The Nashville ordinance that they sent to us to look at had they were looking at regulating where you had to be 55 decibels or less, I believe, at the property line.
Yeah.
So you've got that. That they take up a bunch of space, don't generate a lot of jobs. They're not. I don't think they would be a win for us. I've not heard any positives on any of it, but we've already, inside the city limits, we already passed. We talked about when it happened. There's currently a 1-year moratorium in the city of
Right.
Shelbyville that started in early July, I believe is the official start date.
So what's the plan with the moratorium? I've had a couple people ask me, just reach out. Since there's a moratorium for 1 year, what happens after 1 year? We don't know the answer to that at this point, do we?
The goal is to get the hopefully the city planning commission and the county planning commission working together to set a series of rules and regulations to take care of all the issues,
The
that come
concerns.
up. All the concerns.
Okay.
Yeah, that
All right,
can be
that's
taken
good.
care
Good.
of. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Speaking of which, the only other meeting I've got on my agenda for this week that's not just going out and going to an ice cream supper or a fish fry or a chili supper or whatever else I'll be at this week is Thursday evening. We have the City Planning Commission. We will be discussing, I don't know, because I haven't gotten an agenda, I don't think. But I hear that we hopefully will be taking back up open space and green space, which we worked on about a year ago and set some tighter regulations in. They haven't quite gotten us to where we need to be yet. So we're taking another crack at increasing our standards, because we can't just, as much as people would like to just throw a blanket moratorium on the whole county and say you can't build anything, that ain't legal. We can't do that. But what we can do is we can strengthen our subdivision regulations and our zoning ordinance so that anything that does come into the area is something that's good and positive for the whole area.
Yeah.
So that's
We got a
something we'll
question
be
here.
working on.
Shell
Yeah.
Rollins, how do you reconcile your personal beliefs about data centers moving into our area with your use is AI, I guess, use of AI on your page? This is a question I've asked of many of my local friends and family. People love AI. Okay. I think AI is a tremendous tool that can help computing. I mean, there's just no question about it. AI is a tool of the future. Okay. My personal belief about data centers, I have never put out a personal belief. I've written an article about some of the stuff that comes out. I don't think that every area, this is my personal belief, is a prime location for a data center.
Right.
I don't think sucking water out of the Duck River is a good idea. However, there are probably some ideal locations for data centers somewhere. I mean, they're not around here because I think we're concerned about the Duck River.
I'm thinking California.
Maybe
would
California
be
is a good place.
Yeah.
All right. However,
Yeah.
there are data centers do more than help AI. They're storing data that AI will tap into. The computing power of AI is not necessarily located in a data center. This is storage of information. The way I understand it, there's computing data centers and then there's storage data centers, or a combination in both. Josh, do you know anything about that? How the breakdown is?
I'm not deep into the data center thing, but I will say that, I mean, all data centers are not just for AI. There's definitely, they're used for everything from medical records to businesses have them. They've been around for years. We have them all over, smaller ones all over Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Just the ones that I think most people have gotten concerned about is when they've gotten into the area of that one they built down by Memphis, the one that was that old, what's his name? Elon Musk. Didn't Elon Musk do that one? Yeah. Where they're, acres and acres of space and using up a bunch of natural resources. Those are the ones that have people, I think, the most concerned. As far as, I kind of get that point. I've heard that point online. I mean, you don't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you're,
if you use AI, you can't be
you're
against
pro
data
data
center.
center.
No,
I don't.
No, you can't.
AI has, love it or hate it, and some people definitely do hate it. And I heard a lot of that at that event I was at last Saturday. AI is here. I'm on a computer all day long for just my full-time job, which has nothing to do with politics or what we're sitting here doing now.
Yeah.
And AI it's used all through my industry. I'm in the design industry, and it's.
I mean, without it, you're going to be behind the curve.
So you're not going to have a job if you're not using all the latest and greatest tools. I use particularly in my business, we use Adobe product is what I use, which Cosma, it's a commercial product. and every single one of their suite is full of AI tools now, and that's the way it's gone. I mean, I don't know if you're suggesting, I don't know, outlawing AI or something, but it's a technology. You can't do that.
You can't.
So,
Yeah.
But you can put in, us locally, we can put in zoning ordinance regulations and stuff in our subdivision regs that keep it from happening to where you're not building some big monstrosity next to a neighborhood full of people living in houses and stuff like that. So you can put in setback requirements, you can put in sound regulations, you can put in utility usage regulate, all this stuff that keeps it to where it doesn't have a negative impact on the community.
My
That's what we're
personal,
looking
all right,
to do.
and she's talking about my personal beliefs. I've never really shared my personal beliefs. I think data centers are going to be a part of technology moving forward. That's just the way it is. Okay, my personal belief is they don't belong in every location. And again, every location is not suitable. For instance, Kevin O'Leary is putting in, I think it's a 67 square mile data center in Utah. It's out in the middle of nowhere. You can look this up. It's not measured in square feet. It's measured in square miles.
That's
huge. Yeah. Okay. He is talking about building nuclear plants to power the thing and using solar and wind and all types of stuff. They're going to have to build the power source to even build the data center. Okay. In Utah, in the middle of a desert, I don't know. There's a lot that we don't know, Josh.
Did I hear somebody say that is Elon Musk trying to put them like in orbit up in space?
Yes.
So,
all right. The technology, as it expands, there's going to be evolving technology that helps answer some of our environmental issues, I'm sure. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of technology. There's always a lot of, fear and unknown when a new technology comes in, and hopefully the technology will adapt in such a way that it's not a negative impact on the environment. But we will.
I don't think Bedford County is a good location for it. Based on what I know about it.
I hope so. Yeah, but either way, we will.
So
we
Shell
will put
Rollins,
the right ordinance.
That's my personal beliefs, and how I reconcile it is there ain't no choice. If we don't use AI, we're going to be behind the curve if we're going to stay in a business of any kind.
Yeah. We could type up all our graphics on a typewriter and take a picture with our phone, I guess, and post them. So, but that.
Yes, I understand your question, Shell. I appreciate it because I've often asked myself this question. Am I against data centers, but at the same time want to capitalize off AI?
Right.
I'm not against data centers. I'm against the repercussions that data centers in the wrong place could create. That's it.
Yeah. And I've seen similar questions because you've had you got a lot of people running for office and they say, I'm not for data centers. And then the post about it is done with AI. And people are like,
that's a contradiction. No, it's not, because if you do anything, if you're in the retail business now and you're not using AI, you're going to get sucked up pretty quick. So it's just part of it. So.
I think that's all we got.
Is that all we got?
We did, man. I said we were going to stay to close to 30, and we've still gone long. So we
okay. So did we talk about the City Planning Commission?
City Planning Commission. We don't really know what's happening.
Don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
okay.
Don't have an agenda, but we are going to talk about open space.
All right.
So
Sounds good, Josh.
That's all we got.
All we got today. We thank our sponsors, and we thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the questions. They are thought provoking. As always, we have a great audience, Josh.
We do, and get out and vote. If you've not voted, get out and vote. 500 and some people have voted, which means there's like 30,500 still to go.
Left to go. All right.
Go vote.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a